What's up, Budget Wargamer? We are back. We've got a new episode here, and I want to talk about a game that I haven't talked about in a while, and it's one of those games that's super cheap, so it fits the Budget Wargamer motto. It's a game you could get into at the starter box for literally $25. That's a two-player starter box set. That doesn't mean that for $25 you've got all you need to ever play, but each of the unit expansions is only $10 above and beyond the cost of the starter box, and even some of the other expansions range from $4 and change, used to be $4, now almost $5 for the dice packs, all the way up to like $15 to $25 for expansions. And it's a really easy game set to understand because all the stats are going to be on the cards. You typically play like 100-point games. That way you have somewhere between like 2 vehicles and 5 or 6, and some of the if you have really small light vehicles. And then you have customization cards that help you upgrade it. So it feels somewhat like a Fantasy Flight game, but it's from GaleForce 9. So without further ado, we're talking about the game Tanks, which you would already know based upon the fact that it would have been in the vehicle thumbnail and the title of the video. But this is a game that I seriously recommend checking out. And I'm not a big fan of GaleForce 9's games. I've tried to play throughout the years, kind of half-heartedly. I've tried to play some of the other games that they've made, and they just haven't been that great. But I love World War II. It's a game with an awesome theater, and of which you could play for Russians, British, German, and US, and there's tons of room in here for other armies to come out. But another great thing is that GaleForce 9 gives you sneak peeks of pretty much everything right here on their website. So if you go to tanks.gf9games.com, that'll take you here to where I am, and you can see a little bit about their recent news. They've got different expansions, and these tanks are all just plastic carryovers, multi-part plastic sprues. They're carryovers from other from other GaleForce 9 games, aka Flames of War for the most part. So This is a quick run through. They even tell you how to play, how to set up a battle, so on and so forth. But basically, if my tank can see your tank, then I can shoot it. There's no range measurement involved. There is a little bit of line of sight, so if you've got like a Jag Panther, something like that, or a Stug, that's only going to be able to fire in the front arc. There's also shooting a vehicle outside of its front arc. You can shoot its side armor, things like that. So, and then that would give you a bonus to your dice rolls. Just to cover it in a nutshell, I'm not going to go into how to play the game. If you guys want to see more videos like this or see an in-depth dive into it, I can do it right here on the tabletop, do a demo game, and show you guys how to play tanks. Comment below if that's something that you're interested in, and I could put that together this week or this weekend and play it out here on the tabletop for you, just like I kind of did for a quick synopsis of how to play Warhammer Shadespire, which is another cool game that you can get into for relatively inexpensive price point, that one being at $60, which is a steal for a Games Workshop game. But this is one of those games that hobbying is simple. You're putting together tiny little tanks. They take probably maximum 20 minutes to put together. Painting is a cinch. You basically cover most of it with rattle can and a wash, slap some decals on it. I don't recall decals coming in there. But if we take a look at their store, if you don't believe me, $24.99, that gets you the 2-player starter set. And this is a decent-sized box. It comes with 2 of the Sherman tanks and then 1 of the German Panthers. There are variants of which you could put these together. The Panther kit also makes a Jag Panther, although I don't recall the cards for the Jag Panther being in the starter set. So you would have to pick the Jag Panther expansion up anyways. And plus, you only have 1 tank as a German, being that it's superior to the Shermans in most accounts. But if you did assemble it as a Jag Panther, you wouldn't have the turret. You wouldn't be able to shoot 360 degrees. It would put you at a massive disadvantage against the Shermans. The Shermans, of course, don't have very high armor-penetrating weapons, so that's going to cause quite a bit of a problem when it comes to firing. Plus, they don't withstand a lot of damage either. So, as opposed to the Panther that has a higher armor value, has more hull points, things like that. So each army kind of has a quirk on what their special rules are. The Germans have Blitzkrieg, which is a fantastic rule. Here it says this tank may take a single move instead of making a repair damage roll in the command phase. And then the British have my favorite rule, which is the indirect fire rule. So let's go back to a sneak peek and show you these British heavy tanks that are coming out. And here in the preview, they'll show you the Churchill, they'll show you the Valentine. But the semi-indirect fire rule says a player may choose to keep one of their die results and re-roll the rest when shooting while stationary with this tank. So you're looking to get damaging results. In this case, let's say you rolled and it was kind of weak. You'd get to keep one of them, which of course you would keep as the hit, and then you would re-roll the other ones for a greater chance of being able to cause actual damage to your opponent's tank, presuming that you sit still. So I've got, in my personal list, I've got 4 of the Comet tanks. So those just happen to be what I've picked up. And you can go in and look through their store. You see that, like, basically all the vehicles, they've got mostly tanks, but they do have some light armored cars and things like that. The dice set used to be like $3.99, now they're $4.90. Here's a Puma armored car. Every one of these expansions so far that I've seen has been $10, which is a killer deal for a game that's actually got a lot of replay value through and through, because it's way easier to set up. It's not going to cause as many rules arguments as most of the other types of World War II games, where you get people that are elitists telling you, you can't have this with that, you can't do this. Well, if this was a real battle, you would have so many of these trying to break down your force. This is really just meant to be a fun game. You can play things out of theater. There's no army books telling you what units you can and can't put together within your army, although I think it's basically recommended that you put together a army from the same country. So if you want to play British, you play British. You want to play Germans, you pick German tanks, and just kind of keep it at that. So you're going to play like a hodgepodge of vehicles that may or may not have been commonly played together in the real World War II theater. But you know, that's just what you sacrifice for a quick and easy game that's just a ton of fun to play. They've got some pre-orders of some cool stuff coming out here. I do like the artillery pieces that are coming out as well. I was trying to find where you can get it, but basically if there's a plastic kit for it in Flames of War, there's going to be a kit coming out for it beyond a reasonable doubt here for the game of tanks. So hit the like button if you like videos like these about different types. It might have been the Cromwell. Let's take a look at the Cromwell stats. But yeah, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Let me know if you like this type of video. I'm definitely a big fan of all things World War II. I like bolt action. I like to play World of Tanks from time to time on the computer. It's one of the very few computer games I play, and I love the fact that it's free to play, or a freemium game where you can upgrade. Yeah, it's definitely the Cromwell. So I play 4 Cromwells the very few times that I've actually played the British. 4 Cromwells, they basically have the best moving and shoot. They're going to shoot first, they're going to move last. So their positioning is absolutely fantastic. They make up to 3 moves. They just don't have a strong defense, but you can play 4 of them with a couple upgrade cards on each, or 1 upgrade card on each, depending on how you want to kit it out, and pretty much outmaneuver your opponent and hopefully outgun them, though you're going to have to use your maneuverability to your advantage. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell next to it for notifications if you haven't. And if you're tired of hearing me say that, sorry, I'm trying to grow this channel up. We finally are getting close to 340 subscribers. The next goal is 1,000. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway at 500. So comment below what you'd like me to give away. And if you've got a channel you'd like me to subscribe back to you on, that you subscribed to me, just comment a link to that below and tell me that you'd like me to subscribe to that, and I'd be more than happy to show you the support. Would love to see what kind of channels you guys are interested in growing, even if they aren't related to war games, because I've got some other channels that I work and do narration work on that have nothing to do with war games whatsoever. So good talking to you guys. This has been Budget Wargamer, and we'll see you guys soon.